Hello, let's talk about creating a student-friendly Canvas course navigation. I'm going to use a class from Cal State Fullerton to talk about this, and this happens to be a face-to-face class. First of all, what is the course navigation? That would be the items listed here on the left-hand side that students can click through to get to different elements of your Canvas class. You'll notice that some of them have these eyeballs with the slash marks through. That means that students cannot see them. In the instructor view, Canvas is going to give you some of these things because even if you don't choose to display it, Canvas feels like you might want to click on these things, so it gives you that option. Anything that does not have that slash next to it, or most things that don't have the slash next to it, are going to appear for your students. If you ever want to check to see what your students see, go ahead and click Student View. That's going to put it into the view of students, and you'll see exactly what they see on their side here. So you'll notice that this is pretty clean, has just a few items there that students are going to navigate through. I noticed that when I do course reviews of many instructors, that has a lot of extra things. So let's first talk about how you control what students do and don't see. And then we'll talk about maybe some strategies about what you want them to access and things maybe you want to hide. So in order to control that, you're going to go down to Settings, and under Settings, you're going to click the Navigation tab. Anything that's in this top section, students will be able to see for the most part, and anything in this bottom section, they won't be able to see. So let's say that I moved assignments up here, and now my students will be able to see that. You have to come all the way down here and click Save. And once I've done that, you'll see it refreshes my navigation, and now assignments are there. You'll also notice that the order that it is here is reflected in the order your students see it. So it's not just about what is in there, but maybe also the order you're going to present these things in as well. Now let's talk about what you may or may not want to display in that. So in my navigation, if I go back to Student View, what you're going to see is I have my home. That's always going to be there. You can't control that. Modules. So I want students to be able to click on that and get to the modules listing. I also want them to be able to go to the announcements that I email out announcements, and they're stored there for them. I'm going to skip these two for just a moment. Right now, assignments is there, and we'll talk about why I don't normally do that. I have discussions, I have grades, and I have support resources. So you'll see there isn't a lot there. These two links, Student Hours Zoom link and this lecture Zoom link, I do one fun kind of lecture on Zoom once a semester. They're here by using the redirect tool. So the FDC website has information on how to do that, but you can basically put a link to any URL right there in your course navigation. So if there's a certain library you use a lot or a certain resource that your students should be using a lot, and you don't want them to have to be searching for it all the time, or the link to your office hours, you can certainly put those right there. So it's really convenient for students. So that's what's in my student view of the course navigation. And so let's talk about the things I do and don't put there. And to do that, let's go back to my settings and talk about some of these options. So go to my navigation. So you'll notice that assignments was not there originally. And the reason why I leave that down here, and I'm going to go ahead and add that back to the bottom, click Save, and take that off of my listing, is because I don't want students to come into my class and access assignments from this left-hand side. I want them to go to modules. I want them to read through the materials and then access that assignment or those things at the time that's appropriate, and not just be clicking assignments and trying to figure out what they're doing from there. So same thing is true of things like quizzes. All of those things are presented in different places if it's going to be a class where they're doing a quiz on Canvas. So they're not just trying to click through all of the things they know are graded and complete the items. Same thing with pages. If you put pages there, they can look at all of your pages without actually having to go through the modules that you've constructed that way. I'd also say the same thing about files. The files can get really confusing. You don't want students going into there and just like searching through random folders. So I'd really encourage you to think about what they need to have in this top section and what they don't. The reason I leave discussions up there is because I do have, if we click on it, you'll see, I do have a Q&A discussion and then just one graded discussion. And I want them to be able to get to that Q&A discussion pretty easily. So that's the reason I do have that one item there. But all the other things like assignments and files and pages, I do hide from them. So really think about when your students are on their home page, what do they really need access to? I get a lot of students that tell me how nice and clean the class is, and I think that's one of the main reasons. So good luck. Thank you. For more tutorials, check out our YouTube channel, Faculty Development Center, CSUF. For upcoming workshops, check out our website at fdc.fullerton.edu.